What's up guys, Leaf right here, welcome to the channel, and today we are going to be discussing this iPhone XR, not specifically the specs of this phone, but more specifically the camera, and whether it's still a good option for content creation in 2022 going into 2023. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. So like I said, we're going to be talking about this iPhone XR, and more specifically the camera, not so much the phone. As a phone, I think this is still a very reliable phone even by today's standards. So if that's all you're worried about, yes, I definitely think this is still a good phone for you moving forward, at least for the next few years before Apple doesn't support it anymore. But that's basically all we're going to talk about when it comes to the phone aspect of it. Today we are just specifically talking about this guy right here, if it focuses. There it is. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the camera and whether there's something that still holds up by today's standards when it comes to smartphone cameras. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. And let's talk about the setup. This is the same standard camera that came on their flagships at the time in 2018, the iPhone XS and XS Max. So same standard camera that they have. It was a 12 megapixel sensor. It shoots in 4K up to 60 frames per second, shoots in 1080p up to, I believe, 240 frames per second, which again, I don't know if you're really gonna use that or not, but it's nice to know it has it if you need it. So do I think a single camera phone that came out in 2018 is still relevant, useful today? So that depends. It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a phone that you can find for the cheap, that has a decent camera, where you can produce some online content for Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever your jam is, I definitely think this thing still can do the trick. It still does produce pretty good video, and there's still good photo. I'm gonna flash some of the shots that I got with this camera on the screen for you guys right now. Overall, yeah, it's still a pretty good camera. It's not as good as, you know, some of the newer phones, you know, like the iPhone 13 Pro Max or the 14 Pro Max or even the 12s or 11s. But overall, if you're wanting to be on a budget, you're wanting to get a phone that's going to be reliable, and you're wanting a phone that's going to have a decent camera, I definitely think this is a good option for you. I believe you can find this thing for around between $200 and $300 I saw it on Amazon for, so that's still a pretty good price for a phone that came out in 2018 that is still very relevant, is still very reliable, and still very fast, and has a good camera. Now, when it comes to some of the cons of this thing, the single camera setup, even though I think it is a good camera, it definitely limits you. Maybe I'm just used to now having a phone that has, you know, 2 to 3 cameras on it, where I have options. With this, you have no option. You just have the one camera. So if you're wanting macro shots, you're gonna have a hard time getting this. If you're wanting the ultra wide shots, you're gonna have a hard time with this one. So that's something to take into account. If one lens is fine for you, good. I think this thing will be good for you. If you need more options, this guy probably will not be the one for you. And when it comes to the photo and video, you don't get raw capabilities with this phone when it comes to photos, and you don't get 10-bit video when it comes to video. So those are things to think about as well. So you're not going to have the same flexibility that you would have in a newer phone, such as the 13 series or the 14 series, even the 12 series. So those are things to think about if that is important to you. If you want to have the raw photos where you can push and pull those files as much as you can, and the 10-bit video that gives you more flexibility in post, that is something to definitely think about moving forward if you want to purchase this phone. So now, would I recommend someone getting this phone? Again, if you're on a really strict budget and you want a reliable phone that has a camera that is gonna, you know, produce good quality video and photo content, I would definitely recommend it. But if you have a little more money, I would say the better option would be to go to an 11 series or newer if you have the money flexibility. That way you have a little bit more options when it comes to the camera. It's newer phone, so it's going to last a little bit longer when it comes to updates. So that's probably where I would go if price was a little bit more flexible. But if you're on a super strict budget, I definitely think this is still a good option in 2022. So anyways guys, I am going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys found some use out of it. If there's anything you guys want to see, please let me know. If you're not subscribed, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button and join me on this journey. Anyways, I will see you guys next time I make a video. Have a good one.